We'll start with you, Jess. Tell us about yourself, where you play college now, where you grew up in.
Okay. I'm Jess, and I grew up in Ashland, Massachusetts. I started playing we don't have to go into that. I play soccer at Ithaca College in Ithaca, New York. It's about like 5 or 6 hours away. I play center back, and it's Division 3, and I love it.
Go through the journey. When did you start playing? Doesn't have to be
Oh,
club.
okay. Well, I started playing soccer when I was in like preschool. I started playing club when I was in 5th grade. I played on NEFC for a while, but then I switched clubs my junior year, or at the end of my junior year. So I played senior year at for FC Stars. And when I was younger, like everyone was telling me like, oh, like try to go Division 1, like only look at Division 1 schools, like all that stuff. But didn't I didn't want that. And so I started looking at like schools that had my major, which was pretty easy to find because I'm a business major. But then I looked at Division 2 and 3. And so around sophomore year, I made a list of all the schools that I was interested in, and it was like 20 schools. And then I would look online and I'd look at campuses, and then I'd ask my mom to take me there. And this was during sophomore year. And so I started emailing these coaches saying that I was interested. I'd be like, hey, like I just saw your campus. I like loved your school. I'm interested in playing college soccer. And then some of them responded, some of them didn't, but you just have to keep emailing them because they get a lot of emails every single day. And then finally around end of my sophomore year, beginning of junior year is when they really start looking. So I went to a ton of ID clinics all over the state, all over multiple states. I went to some in New York, I went to some in Maine, Rhode Island, just to like get myself out there. And then finally I had my top 3 schools, and then I decided to go to Ithaca.
So Jess, what were your top 3 schools? What did you pick?
My top 3 schools were Bentley University, Roger Williams, which is in Rhode Island, and Ithaca, which is in New York.
Okay.
So.
All right, I don't want to steal anyone else's questions. I have some questions in case we get through theirs quickly. But so I'll just say a little bit about Jess. I met her sophomore year in high school when I was the assistant at Ashland and the JV coach, and then I coached her senior year at Ashland, where she was a captain for Ashland. And the way us coaches kind of think of players, and I've told you guys before, is there's the technical, like how well you can dribble and kick a ball and change direction. There's the tactical, like the decision making and everything. The physical, where like it's the speed, the power, the strength. And then I think for coaches, most of us, we enjoy the players with like kind of the positive psychological attributes. So when I think of psychological, it's like attitude and effort. Attitude for me is I look at a player like Jess her senior year. I'm like, if I was still playing, would I want to play with her? And every day I showed up, I'd be like, God, I would love to be back in high school and play with a player like that. I try to think, if I had a daughter, would I want my daughter playing with her? Absolutely. I try to think of like, how do her teammates view her? And I just know she was hard on her teammates sometimes, but she also knew how to push the buttons the right way. She treated everyone differently. She just kind of knew how to interact with everyone, and that's a special trait to have. So we'll go around, we'll start the questions. We'll start with the other Ashland player in the room. I'm going to unmute you, Abby. Do you have a question prepared?
I did, but then she answered it.
What was it?
Or which schools were you considering?
So tell us why then you picked Ithaca instead of the other schools.
I picked Ithaca because of the campus. It's amazing. There's a view, like, it's just, I don't even know how to. Whenever I step on the campus, like, I got a feeling, and I knew that it was a school for me. I loved, like, the soccer field. I loved the buildings. I loved the downtown area, and there's a bunch of, like, trails that you can walk around on, like going swimming in the gorges. Like, it just had everything that I was looking for.
How much did the coach play a role?
Oh, huge. My coach, she's not like, she just really cares about all of us. And when I was emailing her, I felt really comfortable talking to her. Even when I first met her, just like the way, like, she'd answer all my questions. She was very honest with me about, I would ask her, like, how many recruits are you bringing in? I would ask her, like, all of these questions just to make sure that I knew exactly what I was in for. And she, the whole time, would answer everything. And it was a very big part of where I chose to go to school.
Did you talk to any of the players before you committed?
I actually did an overnight at Ithaca, and so I met, like, all of the sophomores. I met a few of the juniors. And so I went, like, in the morning, and then I went to a class, and then I went to lunch. I went to lunch at the dining hall, then I hung out with them, and then I went to dinner at, like, the other dining hall. And then they, like, showed me around, and it was actually the night before a game. So it was cool to just, like, we just hung out in the dorms. I got to know all of them, and then I watched them play the next day, and I loved, like, the team chemistry and how everyone treated each other. So
Haley, do you have a question for Jess?
What are the pros of playing college soccer?
the best part is that I still get to play soccer. It is just the best. But what was really awesome is, for soccer specifically, no matter what division you play, you're gonna have to go to school, like, early for preseason and with your team, and you meet, like, all the girls on your team, and you already have a set group of friends, because a lot of people I know that didn't play sport and were just at school, like, they really struggled making new friends, like, and being on a soccer team, I feel like that helps. You always have your teammates, and that was something that was really awesome.
You played any other sports besides soccer?
Yeah, I when I was younger, like in middle school and stuff, I played lacrosse and soccer. But with club, I wasn't really allowed to do that many other sports because I played town soccer and club soccer. But in high school, I ran track too.
Keep yourself in shape.
Mm-hmm.
Weren't you like a hurdling state champion?
Oh, no. I can't even joke about that. I did high jump too, though. So that was fun.
Did you jump high?
Not really.
All right.
Is there a go-to drill or like skill that you use all the time?
I guess I do a lot of, like, touches on the ball, like, in my backyard. I also have like a wall where I can just, like, get touches with both my feet just to make sure that staying active. But I do like out of, like, the cones with both with, like, both feet.
What was the go-to move in a game?
The go-to move in a game?
Dribbling out of the back. I've seen it.
I kind of, like, fake that I'm gonna kick it and then touch it past the player.
Yeah, I used to watch her dribble from center back, and it's not a bad thing. It was a different way to build out of the back. And sometimes there's space in the middle, and she could dribble around players in the middle.
Yeah.
Question: what about looking around the rest of the field? Like, you're a defender. What about midfielders and your teammates, forwards? Are there things that they kind of zeroed in on that you noticed?
Well, I know that our forwards, they like need to keep touches on the ball and they need to keep looking. So what they do is like with a cone, like they keep switching it and they like dribble in one direction and then they'll do a move and turn and then dribble in another direction just to make sure that they will be able to distribute in both directions. So I guess just practicing like turning and making sure that you're seeing both sides of the field at almost all times would really be helpful.
Did you always know you wanted to play college soccer?
Yeah. Yeah, I did. Well, yeah, I did. When I was in like second grade, I wanted to quit soccer and I wasn't allowed to, but other than that, I knew that I always wanted to play college soccer and I always thought like again, like with the whole friends thing, like so obviously you guys are like a club team, but I like my club teammates and like my like soccer friends are friends that like I'll have for the rest of my life. And so I just knew that like to go and play in college and make more friends like that like would be incredible. So I knew that I always wanted to play college soccer.
Did you get to play your position in college?
Yes, I did get to play my position in college. I'm a center back, and during the first game of our season, the center back who was actually a junior on our team, she got hurt, and so I got to play. so I got the position, but I know that like for other schools and like a few of my other teammates, our coach sees like her potential somewhere else. So one of my really good friends on my team, she was also a center back, but because of her like foot skills and the way that she holds the ball, our coach really wants her to play center mid. So I got to play the position I wanted, but it doesn't always happen, but you just got to roll with it. So
Do you think she would do that to you 2 years from now? You dribble?
She might do that. Because at first she wanted me to play outside mid, but then our center back got hurt, so I didn't even like really try it. But I wasn't originally supposed to be playing as center back, so it always changes based off of what the coach sees you can do.
Yeah.
Would you rather play the position you prefer or just play?
I think I would rather. I think I'd want to play. At first, I would be really nervous though because I wouldn't want to like mess it up because I'm not as comfortable in that spot. But if she believed like that is the place that I would succeed at, I think I would do it.
How did you become interested in soccer?
When I was in like preschool, we played like everyone played like the little kick around game and I just stuck with it and I loved it.
Is college soccer more challenging than you thought?
Yes. Yeah, every part of it was more challenging than I thought because if I'm being completely honest, went into Division 3 thinking that it wasn't going to be like I knew that you have to work at it and you're playing at a different level, but like our preseason, it was way harder than I thought. But I loved every second of it and I didn't want to quit or at any point or anything, but I'm just like it was work.
What about the players you played against or with?
What about them? What was it?
Like, how were they compared to like high school teammates and players you played against?
Yeah. Well, they're like one of my teammates was 22 and I was 18. So like she had 4 years on me, and it showed. Like she getting in the weight room, like they were bigger, like they were stronger. But it was like a really good challenge, like playing with them, which was pretty cool. Like not many people can say that they play like college soccer. So if you guys have the opportunity or are interested in it, I would say 100% go for it.
Like, do you have like a favorite moment or something that like will always stick with you from like from so far, like in your soccer career?
When I was a senior in high school, I took a corner kick
Oh God!
and I curved it in the net.
And then what happened later in that game?
And then I got in a fight. In college, one of the most exciting moments for me was my coach telling me to go warm up, because it was the second game of the season. She told me to go warm up. And I think playing in my first game, it was against Gordon. And that was one of the coolest things. Like playing in my first college soccer game. And it was in Massachusetts. And my mom and my sister and my aunt, like they all came, and they didn't even know if I was going to get in or not, because I didn't get in the game before. But I got in the second game, and I played like 70 minutes, and that was one of the coolest things, I think.
What year of high school did you commit?
I committed the end of my junior year. It was like, I think it was June. I went to the ID clinic, and then I verbally like committed to her that I was going to come. And then after my overnight, she put my high school transcripts through to make sure that I'd get into the school, because for Division 3, you have to get into the school before like you can really commit, because they can't really help you. Like for Division 1, I know like they can pull strings, like no matter what really your GPA is, but for D3 you have to get into the school and then you can commit. So I committed officially the beginning of my senior year, but I verbally committed junior year. So
Okay, 2 for you. Number one is, what does leadership look like to you? Like, what does it sound like? What does it act like?
all right. Personally, leadership is not really like there's a few leaders that come to mind like this year on my team, and one of them, she was a senior and she was really quiet and she didn't really say that much, but her leadership was shown through her actions. And every day she would show up to practice no matter the drill. And I'm not even exaggerating. Like she was 150% with everything that we did. And it just made you want to be better. Like it made you want to work hard in everything that you did. And I think I've always seen like a leader as someone who gives like the best speech before a game, or whoever, like someone like that. And that was this type of leadership I'd never really like noticed before. But she, like, even if she wasn't the best at it, she was trying her hardest. And that was something that will stick with me, like, as I continue to keep playing. Like, just people are watching and your actions do matter. And even if you don't think that your teammates are paying attention, they 100% are. And I think that was really cool. I think leadership is also having a positive attitude, even if you're losing, just to make sure that some people take criticism poorly and some people can handle it. And I think it's really important to know your audience. And if your teammates aren't playing the best, say like, hey, try to hype them up, but also don't give up yourself. And if you're losing, but you're still giving your all, it will hopefully radiate on your other teammates, and they will be motivated to keep working. So I think it's all about your actions for leadership.
Yeah, that's a great answer. Last one. What is the best advice you would give to a 13-year-old version of yourself who wanted to play college soccer?
I would say to not be so hard on myself, and that it's not going to be easy, but to not be so down, because I would send out emails, and then when they wouldn't respond, I would cry. I would freak out. I'd be like, oh, I can't go to that school anymore. I would just let it take its course and try your best, and you will end up where you're supposed to end up.
Last one, actually.
Okay.
Do you like playing soccer?
I love playing soccer.
Great answer. All right. Thank you for taking the time. Here, I'll unmute everyone so we can give you can everyone say thank you to
Thank
Jessica?
you.
Thank you.